Cats are the most agile creature that I know of on the planet. So let's start with the cat and the cow stretch. You're on all fours and you just arch your back. As you arch your back up, drop your head in between your shoulders. As you come down the other way, you're rounding your spine and you're looking up. Very slow, controlled, very relaxed, gentle. You're not trying to push past anything. And make sure you're moving entirely through your spine rather than rocking back and forth. So after you do that, we're just going to do a modification. A lot of people, we live in a world where our shoulders are slouched and rounded, so we're going to want to pull those back. This time our hand is more by our knees, and we're getting tall through the mid-back. Let's show you one more time. Getting tall through the mid-back with the shoulders pulled back. You just do that a few times. And then we'll do a rotation stretch. So now you're just going to drop your forearms down to the floor. So that one forearm to the floor, other hand on the back of the head. And you bring your elbow up towards the ceiling. And just use your eye gaze to follow up. And do that nice rotation stretch. You're just shooting for about 4 to 5 times in one direction, and then you're going to go in the other direction. So you noticed we started with more of what's called a flexion and extension, and now we are doing more of a rotation stretch through our spine, trying to work all of the different angles, loosen up all of those restrictions that we start to accumulate. Now we're going to move into a child's pose. Those arms deep in front of you as you're kneeling, and then reach deeply in one direction, not too deep. You don't want it to be uncomfortable, but you want to feel a stretch in that, what they call the lat area, or in your shoulder area, and make sure you're doing some deep breaths in and deep breaths out. When you're ready, reach into the other direction. Deep breath in and out and reach. And so we did what we call the flexion extension, then the rotation, and then that child's pose with the reaches will get the side bending. So now I'm going to come up to a kneeling position. And what I'm showing here is an anterior pelvic tilt. What you want to do is tuck under, nice and strong in your core, and lean back. Lean back to your comfort level. If you have knee issues, anything that would keep you from doing this, listen to your body, don't do it. Lean back as far as you comfortably can. I'm going a little bit far. I'm not trying to show off, just to show you the different depths that you could get so you find what's comfortable for you. This is going to warm up and wake up the quads. We're about to do more of a hip flexor stretch, and I like the idea of just engaging those muscles, finding those muscles a little bit. Now you're going to come up into a half kneeling position, and again, I'm just demonstrating cinching. Pubic bone up, rib cage down, activate your core, and press your hip forward. If you want to add a side bend reach, the knee that's down, take that same arm, reach overhead, and then lean to the side. Make sure it's slow, controlled with good body awareness, and breathe. Big breaths in, big breaths out. Relaxed breaths. I don't want them to be huffs and puffs. And now you're going to do a rotation. So from that same half kneeling position, you're just going to rotate back and forth. Just in and out. What I'm showing here is what you don't want to do is have your pelvis be the one that's moving. You want your pelvis to stay very forward facing. So you take that, whatever knee is up, you take your opposite hand and keep your knee pulled inward. That will keep you from rotating through your pelvis. And you'll notice I am just rotating entirely through the spine. So another way to get that spine rotation. Cinch it up again. Press that hip forward. Now you're doing more of the hip flexor stretch. Use nice relaxed breathing. If you need to come in and out of it, just remember to re-cinch up. And then feel free to add that arm overhead. The knee that's down, that's the arm that comes up and reach to the side. Breaths in and breaths out. This is a great position to do that deep breath because you get a rib cage stretch as well. And then here is the rotation on the other side. Go ahead and add that rotation stretch again. You don't want your pelvis to turn. You want your pelvis forward facing. So you can take the knee that is up, take your opposite hand and pull your knee in as you just rotate. Some twist stretching back and forth. You're going for mobilization, so you don't have to hold it as deep as you can. You want to just work through it in and out at your own pace. We're going to drop down to all fours again. And if you want to do a little cat-cow, you can do that. What we're doing now is called a bird dog. And I'm just bringing that leg back. What you want to avoid, what I'm showing is a lot of people like to lean over that stance leg. You want to make sure that you don't have your weight over that stance leg. Push your hips the opposite way and don't overarch. I just showed more of an overarching. You don't want to reach high with the arm and leg. You want to reach kind of far out in front of you. And come down and do these at your own pace. I'm alternating now. Sometimes I will point my finger straight ahead to remind me, reach in front of me, not up above me. I'm not trying to reach high, I'm trying to reach far. And you're going to go in and out of these at your own pace. If you want to do a little cat stretch in between, you can. And again, remember, don't arch your back too much. You want to keep very neutral. You should almost feel this in your stomach muscles as well. So bird dog, opposite arm, opposite leg, and you're just alternating, holding at your own pace. Holding as long as you feel comfortable with. This is not strength training right now. So your goal isn't to make it burn and make it hurt so bad. Your goal is to have good body awareness, move slow, and feel the muscles that you're working. Become very in tune with those muscles. And you should still be doing those bird dogs, alternating back and forth. You're on your hands and your knees, and then opposite arm and leg come and reach behind you. To wrap it up, do another cat and a cow. In between if you want to, and then reach. Opposite arm, opposite leg. And remember, breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice and relaxed. I'm spending a little bit more time on this. These are some of our backstrap muscles that most of us don't work enough. We don't engage these. We have weak backs, meaning we have painful backs. So we want to make sure we strengthen that. The other thing we want to strengthen is our side stomach muscles. So let's move on to our side. We're going to do a side plank. You can do them from your knees, as I'm doing here, and I am on my forearm, or you can do them from your feet. Your feet can be stacked, or you can have the leg that's on top out in front, that foot on front. You just want to make sure you keep your pelvis high and you're breathing. Whenever you need to come down, you go ahead and come down. Take a short little break. And whenever you're ready, you pop right back up. So I'm alternating, showing from the knees. And then we'll do the feet again. You're going to choose the method that works best for you. If the knees are too easy, you're going to be from your feet. If the feet from your feet is too difficult, you're going to do your side plank from your knees. You're shooting for about a 5 to 10 second hold, and then you come down for just a second and you pop right back up. You do not have to be following along with me exactly. I just want to give you a good progression of exercises that you should be working with. Hips are nice and up high, not on the floor, not close to the floor. A lot of space in between your hip and pelvis area and the floor. And whenever you're ready, let's do the other side. What you don't want to do is slouch in your shoulder. So what you see me here is getting kind of showing what it would look like to be slouched and then what it looks like to be tall. And let's show you one more time from the knees. There is your slouched, and there is getting up tall again. You hold pelvis high off the floor and breathe. Hold that side plank. A good amount of pressure throughout the entire forearm, meaning it's not entirely on your elbow. So shift your body if you need to so that all of your weight is equally distributed throughout your entire forearm. You come down when you need to. You pop back up as you need to. Just make sure that you are breathing and keeping the hips up high. Come down and take a break. And whenever you're ready, you come right back up. You're breathing. You're in your side plank. Pelvis is up high. And you should be starting to shake a little bit. You should feel those side stomach muscles, the stomach muscles facing the floor, really engaging. And come down, take a break whenever you need to. And then when you're ready, you pop right back up. Again, you can be from your knees or your feet. I am demonstrating both positions so that you can alternate and see what's working best for you. Sometimes you start from your knees when you feel more comfortable with it. Doing this later on, you can do it from your feet. So now I'm going to show the dead bug. Again, you want to keep that pubic bone pulled up and your rib cage pulled down. Your low back should be flat. Keep that low back flat on the floor and then alternate moving opposite arm, opposite leg out, reaching again. This time you're on your back. So instead of the bird dog, now we're doing the dead bug. They call this a dead bug because it looks like you're a dying cockroach. In this version here, I'm making it a little more challenging. So the arm and the leg that are extending, I'm with the other side, opposite arm and opposite leg, I'm kind of pressing my knee into my hand, matching force that really engages your oblique muscles. And then I'm still alternating, moving those knees. What I just showed there was that pelvic tilt that you don't want. You want to really try to lift your butt, your tailbone off of the floor, keeping that low back pressed down. And you do not have to do the alternating arm and hand. Arm and leg. You can just hold the dead bug position. For some people, that's going to be a chore. Just holding it there is going to be a challenge for some people. So I want you to do the version that works best for you and your comfort level. Take a break whenever you need to. But if you feel comfortable with this, either continue to hold, or if you feel very comfortable with this, continue to alternate those arms and hands. And next we're going to do a bridge, a glute bridge. Same thing. You want to make sure that you don't have that anterior pelvic tilt. You want to keep your pubic bone kind of pulled high, and you don't want to overarch your low back. So if you're overarching, just drop your upper back down to the floor in between your shoulder blades. Make sure in between your shoulder blades you're touching the floor. Your pubic bone comes up high. You lift up. I'm also showing a version where you can just be more on your heels and your toes are up. That will get more butt muscles targeted for you. And the same thing, you can hold this position and breathe, or you can alternate, coming down for a second or two, and then pop right back up like we were doing with the side plank. If you want to make it more challenging, you can do a single leg. So you see me here going up and down on a single leg. The foot that's off the ground, I'm kind of pretending that I'm pushing that knee straight up towards the ceiling. And I'll show it again on this side here. I'm going to go down and then press that knee up towards the ceiling, back and forth. So again, this is a modification to make it more challenging. You do not have to do this one. If you are more comfortable staying on both feet, you should stay on both feet. Or heels, in the case of what I'm doing. And you don't have to be from the heels. That's just a modification to target the butt muscles more. The big thing is, again, breathe. Good body awareness. Explore your body and see what it feels like for you. And then we're going to wrap it up now with a little bit of a leg stretch so you can stretch your hamstrings. I'm doing some ankle circles, so I'm trying to keep my knee somewhat straight. You can bend your knee and go back and forth. You're going to be able to bring your leg closer to your chest if you bend your knee. If you keep it straight, it's not going to go up as much. But ideally, you're just exploring this stretch in your hamstring, the back of your leg, and doing whatever feels comfortable for you. And if you want to do those ankle circles that I'm doing, that's going to get more calf muscle. I just want you to go back and forth, feel a good stretch in the hamstring there. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and move to the other side. You're laying on your back, you're very relaxed. One knee is bent, and the other leg is up towards the ceiling, your foot towards the ceiling, stretching the back of your leg. Maybe you're rolling your ankle a little bit. Maybe your knee's bent, maybe it's straight. You're finding what works best for you. Sometimes I do little impulses. Sometimes you just notice me now, I'm rotating my hip so my foot's facing the ceiling and I'm just rotating back and forth through my hip. So these are just ways that you can explore your body. We're going to finish up with the pigeon stretch. So this targets the back of your butt and your glute. I'm doing a rodeo stretch now. Notice the only difference is with one of these, I've got my opposite knee more towards my ankle, and then I'm kind of curling up and bringing that there. And then with the other one, the rodeo stretch I was doing before, and I'm doing it again now, is I'm more like I'm kind of crossing my legs. I'm bringing that up. You do what works best for you. Alternate. I want you to find the good stretch as long as you're stretching the backs of that hip. And you're breathing in and out, nice and relaxed. Whenever you're ready, switch to the other side. And the same thing. Alternate between what is called a pigeon stretch or a rodeo stretch. They both target the same region. They're just hitting a lot of those same muscles at a little bit of a different angle. You're breathing, you're relaxed, feeling that good stretch in the back of your hip. And then come on up. You should be very proud of yourself.